It's day 2 of our project. Now I didn't come back the very next day like I was intending, but that's okay. If you leave the liquid nails cure a little bit longer than 24 hours, you're almost better off. Did you know that? You know, so if you can wait a couple days, fine. If you can't, you know, a day's fine too. The longer you leave it on there, probably the more it's going to cure and harden. Okay, so I haven't done anything with this yet. Now I'm going to have to take this off and hope I can get this masking tape off. You know, should I have used blue tape? Well, we'll see. But still, this masking tape's only been on for less than 2 days, and I usually use the plain old standard masking tape such as this. You know, this is 2-inch. You don't have to necessarily use 2-inch. I like to use 2-inch because it does a lot of different things that 3/4 inch or 1-inch tape does. It just gives me a better product. So I like to use the 2-inch. And incidentally, remember I had that small little roll and I said it was really sticky? Well, it does. If you wait too long, it gets really super sticky, way stickier than brand new masking tape. So if you've had, here's a tip for you. If you've had masking tape on this roll, and let's say it's 6 months old and you think, oh, I can use that. Well, it's going to be so tacky that whatever you put it on, you're going to have to be careful when you pull it off, and it may leave a little residue, or it could pull some paint off if you're putting it over something that has paint on it, and you're going to have to clean up better. So you got this little bit of a roll left, and if it's that old, I would just chuck it. Throw it away. Now, if you've got just a little bit like this, and it's only a couple weeks old, and you know you're going to use the rest, by all means, use it. All right, back to our project. I guess before I do anything, I probably should, you know, just wondering if I should take the masking tape off yet, or if I should cut this off. I think I'm going to try to cut this off first before I remove the masking tape. You take a sharp sheetrock knife, and see, this is all, it's still pliable to a certain extent. Let's see if I can get you in there a little closer. Is that a little better? Now I can just carefully cut that off with my sheetrock knife. I may have to score it a couple times. Just, you know, go nice and easy. I mean, it's not a race. We want to do a good job. Now I'm not going to be too concerned about cutting it perfect for right now. I just want to get the main amount off. I can just score it a couple times here, like that. Score it on the back side. That's why if you get any overage on liquid nails, you get a way better finished product. If you let it dry, if you've got time to let it dry, then you can scrape it off. This is the bottom of the door, so I'm not too concerned about exactly what the overall finish looks like when I get done, you know. Besides, I might still put some in here. I'm going to finish this off, remember? I'm going to put some liquid nails over that when I get done. I still want to cut this off first. And see, if you don't wait long enough before you cut this off, it's not going to be as pliable as this. If you wait 2 or 3 hours, let's say, you think that's good enough, you take your clamps off, you're not going to be able to cut this off as easily, you know? Because it hasn't hardened up yet. Okay. I guess I can, let's just clean it up a little bit. Guess I can do that up here now that I can see what I'm doing. Still got the masking tape up here, so I want to be really careful with that, because this is going to be my finished product once I get the masking tape off, right? All right. Let's get this masking tape off. I'm kind of anxious about this, make sure it comes off all right. I'm sure it will. Pull this masking tape off now. And as you pull it, you want to kind of pull it at an angle to try to keep it from lifting whatever you have up there. That goes for pretty much anything with masking tape on it, because sometimes it'll lift, and last thing I want is for this paint to start lifting. Now this edge was kind of bad. It was all lifted up before, so some of this paint is already, the white paint is peeling because of that. You know, so all you can do is the best you can do. That's why I've got some paint. Got some paint touch up that I brought with me. And I just happen to have it. You don't have any, you may have to take a little sample to the paint store or something. You know, because what you want to do is get this matched up as close as possible. Now, if you can't match it exactly, see how I'm pulling at an angle. If I pulled straight up, that could lift anything right here. Do you see what I mean? If you pull at an angle, you're pulling so that you're pulling and you're allowing that to come off this way. And so that's more or less likely to lift anything. There's a tip for you. Always about tips. Yes, indeedy. All right. Enough of that. Let's get this last piece off of here. I may have to wipe this down. It feels pretty good though. It's not really tacky at all. Look at that. Came off pretty clean. All right, now I'll have to kind of play with these edges just a little bit. Just going to take my thumbnail and try to take off any of the liquid nail that went behind the masking tape. So if I do that, I won't have to touch up this door as much. If you try to flake that off, think, oh, I'll just sand that off with some sandpaper. Now you're sanding off your paint too. You know, I want to get as much of this off as I can first off, and then I'll make a decision what to do. Touch-up wise with some caulking, or I think I'm going to take a little wood rasp to this edge here. Now this edge folded down pretty good. Remember this, the veneer I was telling you was hardboard. It's about an 1/8 inch thick. This had grown out to about 3/8, and I mashed it all back together. And you know, once you get water on there, it's not all going to go back down 100%. This is still protruding out a little bit, but at least it's nice and tight. You know, I'd say it's maybe a 1/4 inch at this edge now, so this door is kind of spreading still, you know, but you're not going to get this perfect. You can only do the best you can, hope that that sticks. That's why we're using the heavy duty liquid nail. So hopefully we're not going to run into a problem later on with this lifting again. That's why I used the heavy duty, because the heavy duty liquid nail is for interior and exterior, remember? Okay, so just see what I can do here. All right, guess I'm ready to clean this edge up with the rasp. See where I had the masking tape, it pulled that little piece off, and this little edge is loose a little bit. This here was already missing from before. And see how this is lifted up a little bit? I'm gonna have to decide what do I want to do with that. Do I want to leave that, put some caulking right there? Because if I sand this or kind of chisel this down, then I'm gonna have to put some caulking there and then some touch-up paint. And I think I might do that. I'm not sure if I want to leave that lip lifted up, because remember the veneer goes up this way on the side style of the door. This veneer from here down goes down this way. This goes sideways. So that's why there's a joint there. And that was lifting up, and it was only so tight I could get that. Now it is tight, and it's like that because that's that hardboard lifting all out. Remember, it expanded right there. Up here it expanded the same. You know, but this is on an outside edge, so you're not going to see it as much as right there. See what happens when you get the hardboard wet? Use my trusty old rasp. This thing looks pretty old, but this has really served me well over the years. It's flat and it's got a rough surface here. This side is more smooth. Then this side is kind of contoured, curved. See there? That's curved. So this side here kind of rolls over like that. Rough side and a smooth side. As you can see, I've used all the edges on this, and this rasp is pretty old, but it's still working. I mean, I've probably had this 15, 20 years. It's got some paint and some caulking in here, and probably needs to be cleaned out a little bit. It still does its job though. On wood and metal it works good on. Okay, so I'm going to take that. I'm just going to hit this edge and I'm going to go down. I don't want to go back, and if I went back and forth like that, that's the worst thing you could do, because you're going to take any edge right there and you're going to try to peel it back, and some of the paint could come off and this could get all messed up. We don't want to do that, do we? I just want to get that edge down because it's kind of lifting just ever so slightly. Not very much, and there's not much I can do. You know, I can do some. As I go that way, I can go longer and just keep it at an angle. Hey, most people know how to rasp and sand. But still, watch this. You might learn something on the rasp. Short strokes down or sideways like that, not back and forth. There's a certain time to do that, and there's a certain time not to do that. So I want to blend that. See, now right here at the end, I could do that flat. I'm not at an angle, because I've got, this is all glued down. But if I didn't want to do that, I could take the rough side and just do that a couple times. Then I don't have to go back and forth. Now finish it off with the smooth side. Kind of blending in that edge. See, that edge right there is perfect, but not this right there, because that's beyond it. Now if I hit that, I don't really want to do that, I don't think. I think I'm going to leave that alone for right now. See, here's a little bit that's loose. I couldn't do anything with that. That's why I got my touch-up paint. I want to kind of look at that a little bit. There's a little bit more that's loose. I don't do that now. It's just going to peel up later. Okay, now I can look at this edge. This top edge, I don't want to go back too far, but there wasn't any paint on that edge right there anyway, so you know, I can hit that a little bit. There's liquid nail over it, but this rasp is taking some of that off and making that smoother, and that's another reason if you let your liquid nail set on there a little bit longer and cure, now you can take the rasp to it. You did this 6 hours later or the very next day, you wouldn't really be able to do that with the rasp as well, you know, or sandpaper. I'm just trying to trick the eye. I put paint over here, you're not even going to really notice as much that there was anything going on. Okay. Again, you always want to work from the outside in. I wouldn't want to go on the other side and go this way, because then I could peel that off this way. You see what I mean? So is there a right and wrong way to rasp? Yeah. There's pretty much a right and wrong way to do just about anything in construction.